Next, we will implement the functionality to attempt the quiz, okay, by the user. Okay, so let's do it. Next, we have to allow users to attempt the quiz. So for doing that, we have to create one route where user can go and attempt the quiz. Okay, so let's start with the route first. And to do that, we have to add the route here in the routes.py. But before that, just segregate some of the routes. Mostly all the routes are admin related. So just group the user routes only. A logout route is common for both admin and register is also for user. So copy these three. Okay. Make this as pass this comment down and make this admin authentication route, and logout is common, home is common. Okay, go at the bottom, paste here, uh, make a comment user routes. Okay, so user have register, login, and dashboard. And now we have to create a route for attempting the quiz. Okay, so app.route and then quiz, and the quiz will have the quiz ID. Okay, so and quiz ID, no typo error this time. Okay, and this route will be having two methods, get and post, one for rendering the quiz form and one is for submitting. Okay, next login required and attempt quiz ID. Okay, we don't need to check admin login here because this is the login for user. Okay, so we have to start. So user will come here to attempt the quiz. So what we have to do first, we have to fetch the quiz from the database. Quiz dot query dot get of 404 quiz ID. And once we have the quiz, we have to list the questions. So quiz dot questions. Okay. Next, if user will attempt all the questions and submit that quiz, so if request dot method, okay, we need to fetch the request, I guess, request module. We have imported this request module from Flask. Okay, because we have to check for post request. So request dot method equal to post. So If the request method post, then what we have to do, we have to loop through the, so if user is submitting the request as post, so what we have to do, we have to just count the score for all the questions. Okay, so how we do that, um, so we will take score first as 0, and then we will loop question dot questions. Okay, then what we'll do, what we'll count, so just fetch the answer by the user, and if it is true, if it is matching the correct option from the question, we will um, increase the score by 1. Okay, so check the answer from the users. So if the user answer is request, from the request and from request form, whatever user is filling, and we find this input question ID. Okay, so the question ID is uh, for the question that we have in the loop now, and if user answer and can't user answer, so the user answer from the field will be a string value, so we have to convert it to integer first, and if integer or user answer equal to the question dot correct option. Okay, if it matches, then what we have to do, we have to increase the score by 1. Okay, then that will we will do for all the questions. So whatever score will be at the last, we will show as the scored. Okay, so here, okay, so if block is ending, then question, and then at the last here, request is post, score is 0, and we will have the total score. Then with the total score, we will create the score record and store it to the into the database. So the user score equal to score, and score has the fields as, so in the score we have total scored, so the total score will be score at last, then timestamp will be automatically set. Okay, you don't need to do that. Quiz ID and user ID you have to provide. So quiz ID will be quiz ID, that is already passing in the browser. And then on the user ID, the user ID, that will be the session is active while the user will be attempting the quiz, so we will have the current user dot id. Okay, so we have the user score, then tv dot session dot add user, user score, not the quiz id, user score, and then we will need to store into the database, and once it will complete, then we will flash a message. So we have to format this message, your score and score will be score, and uh, then out of length of the questions, and the category will be success. Then we will redirect the user to um, URL for, we will redirect user to quiz results. Okay, so after attempting the quiz, we will redirect user to quiz results where they will see their scores. Okay, the quiz results, and quiz results will have the quiz ID too. Okay, to filter like the ID. So this will be quiz ID, that will be quiz ID, and that's it. Then the template for attempt quiz is return render template, and the template will be the normal one, not the admin. That will be attempt quiz dot html, where we have to pass the quiz, so we can list the quiz detail and the questions. Okay, and next we can also pass the questions, so we don't have to write the query there. Okay, and that's it for this attempt quiz route. Okay, cool. Next we will create a route for quiz results. Okay, so dot route quiz results, and pass the quiz ID, and that will be a single route for get request, but login will be required. Def quiz results quiz ID, and for the quiz results we will fetch the quiz, and then we will fetch the score for the user, and then we will show a user their scores for that particular quiz. Okay, so when user attempts the quiz, they will attempt submit their answers, and we are counting the score. We are then storing the score, and that score we are redirecting user to quiz results, where the user will see their score. Okay, so the message is, this is correct, quiz completed and your score. Okay, so here we have to find the quiz first. So quiz dot query dot get or 404 quiz ID. Then we need to find the score, and that will be score dot query dot filter by, and we have to provide two parameters. We have to fetch the score record. The first one is user ID, that will be current user ID. The second will be quiz ID, that is quiz ID already in passing to the URL. So we'll get that and then first. Okay. So we'll have the score for the user. Then we will render the template for this. Turn render template. Um, the template is quiz results.html, and then we have to pass both quiz and score. Okay, cool. We are done with both routes, attempt quiz and quiz results. Okay, so next we have to add the templates for these uh, routes. Okay, so let's create the template for attempt quiz first. Attempt quiz.html, and it will extend the layout only. Okay, not from the admin, cause this route is for user. So layout.html, then we will have the block for title, and the title will be attempt quiz, then end block. The attempt quiz is not seems good, right? And then quiz name. We already providing the quiz, I guess. Go to root and check. Yeah, we are providing the quiz, so we can list the quiz dot name. Okay, similar to this. I think this will be good. And then we have to create a form for a user to perform the quiz. So the layout, if you remember, we have the content block where we can add this. Okay, so block content end block, no typo errors, and inside the block content, then we'll start adding first quiz dot name, quiz dot name, that's it. And then we have to list the inputs, but we have to first create the form. Okay, form method post. Okay, then so we have to list all the questions, and we have to then provide one button to submit whole form. So we have created the form with post method. Let's create the questions. Okay, for creating the questions we have to loop our question that we have provided here as questions quiz dot questions. So start looping. For looping, use the loop block for question in questions, and end this loop here, and then inside the loop we will start creating our input. Okay, so div, and then make one div here also, and wrap this loop inside this, and then in div we will have to make the question statement heading. So, the question dot question. Okay, just I don't want to do any typo error, so just copy and paste question statement. Okay, then we have to create the options as inputs. Okay, so we have form and we have to create the input. Okay, so how do we do that? So for each of the question we have to create the input boxes, the radio inputs with the question name, question and with the question ID that we are um, fetching the answer with. Okay, so question underscore question dot id. So if the question will have the id 1, so the the name for the input will be question underscore 1. If the id is 2, then the name will be question underscore 2. Okay, so similar we have to make the input so we can get the output uh, from the form request. And to do that we have to create the inputs with similar names. Okay, and whatever input user will select, that will be fetched here. Okay, and then we will check the answer, the value with the correct option. Okay, so let's start. um we have to create the create one div and then input will be type radio and the name will be question underscore id, question dot id. Okay, then one input, one label, we need a label. The label will be option. Okay, option question dot option 1. Okay, and one more thing, the name we have to also give the value. The value will be uh, 1 for this first input. The value will be 1, and similarly we have to make 4 inputs, 4 option. As we have the 4 options, we have to make 4 radio. Okay, for the same name. Okay, so this will be the radio question id. The question id is same and the value will be 2, and the option 2. Similarly, the option 3 will have the value as 3, and option 4 will have the value as 4. Okay, so we have input type radio with the same name for 4 inputs, then with different values. If user select like this one, this radio, so the we will have the answer here, user answer here as 2. Okay, so we will render the all the questions one by one uh, using this block. Okay, so we will have like if there are 5 questions, so it will render 5 times. and we will have the 5 questions with 4 inputs for each on the screen. Okay. Okay. Then we need a button for submit this form. Okay. So to do that, add a button element. Button type will be submit for submitting the form, and this will be submit quiz. Okay, cool. So we are done with the attempt quiz template. Next, we have to create the template for quiz results. Okay, so the quiz results will have the quiz and score, and the template name is quiz results. So create this template, quiz results.html. That will also extends by layout.html. Um, then just copy this block because I cannot write again and again. I'm a lazy. Block title for quiz results, and then block content, and block. And inside this block, to this will be the heading as quiz results, and the paragraph. Your score. Make a div and make this as heading h5, where we will list quiz name, and we are providing the quiz, right? Quiz name will be quiz.name, and then we will have italic. Okay, so your score, the score will be scores that has provided a score, and the score we have total scored. Just use div, that is fine. Total scored, and out of len quiz dot questions, and then we can also show the timestamp, but that needs to we need to format that timestamp using the JavaScript to show on the page. So just leave it for now. We'll do later. Okay. So save it, and we are done with the quiz results template. What else we have to do? So we are done with the templates. Now just test this with a user, and then the user will attempt the quiz. And before that, we can also create one uh, dashboard link. Okay, link in our layout to attempt the quiz. Okay, so basically we have to give a path somewhere to for the users, so they can filter the quizzes based on the subject and chapters, and then they can attempt the quiz. Okay, but for now, what we are have in the dashboard. Okay, in the user dashboard, we can provide the quiz link for now. Okay, H5 quizzes. You can attempt any quiz based on your interest from the list. Okay, and then give the quiz list and a button to attempt the quiz. So create a for loop for quiz in quizzes and end this for loop and loop all the quizzes. But before that, we are giving this on dashboard, user dashboard. So we have to provide the quizzes also here. Okay, so to go to root, and in root uh, list the quizzes here using query quiz dot query dot all, and pass the quiz in quizzes parameter, and then we will have the quizzes. We can loop them, and so we can create the table similar to the admin dashboard. So manage quizzes, and this we can copy for user also. Okay, copy this, paste here, and refactor this. Okay, so ID we don't need to show to user, it is not necessary here. Date of quiz we can show. Instead of ID, they can see the name. So quiz dot name, and we also have to add this name field at the manage quiz. We are not showing it, so make one more td name. I think we forgot to add here. Quiz dot name. Okay, do we have anywhere else? Manage quizzes, add quiz. Yeah, we have add quiz, add edit quiz name. We have the manage quizzes we just added. Okay, it's okay. Okay, we are on the dashboard, and in the table we are providing the name, date of quiz, and time duration. Okay, and so for quiz in quizzes, quiz dot name, date of quiz, time duration, and just divide this time duration by 60, and then it will be in minutes. So it will be like 30 minutes or whatever minutes. Okay, and then yeah, we don't need to give the edit URL here. We don't give the delete URL here. We have to give only one URL, that will be to attempt the quiz. Okay, so td and href attempt. Okay, now the URL will be URL for, and what will be the URL? The root quiz attempt quiz and with the quiz ID. So that is the URL for attempting the quiz. So attempt quiz and the quiz ID equal to quiz.id. Okay, we are good then. Let's now test this functionality. So we have tested the quiz questions last. So we were able to manage the quiz, add the quiz, edit the quiz, and manage the quiz questions for the quiz. Now just log out from the admin dashboard, go to the user login, and we don't have any users for now because we reinitiated the database as we have added the name field in the quiz table. Okay, so we have to register one user. So create a user, money1test.com, test pass money qualification, just leave it. Date of birth is required, so fill anything, just fill anything. Okay, submit. We registration is successful for the users. Now login, test pass and submit. Okay, so we are inside the user dashboard and we can see all the quizzes. So you can attempt any quiz based on your interest from the list, and we are showing whole list for the quizzes. For now, this is the temporary structure, and we will have a separate, uh, separate template for quizzes, so user can filter the quiz based on their interest and then do that. But for now, just for testing, we are listing here and attempting from here. Okay, so we are in the user dashboard, and then we can see the quizzes, and then we can attempt. Okay, so just try to attempt. So in attempt we can see the URL is quiz and one. Okay, that is for the attempt quiz, and then we can see the quiz and the questions. Okay, one more thing, add this as question. Okay, so inside the attempt quiz, make this as question. Okay, and then make one more element and choose answer. That will be better. Reload the quiz and then okay, make this h6. Okay, we have two questions in this quiz. Okay, and we will do one wrong and one true. Okay, so this will be 2 3 5 9x 4 13 and 3. So this is correct one, and for this we will choose the wrong answer. Okay, fingers crossed, we have to submit the quiz. So when we submit the quiz, so when we submit this quiz, so we will redirect to quiz results. Okay, after calculating the score, and then we'll have a message for the score. So submit this quiz, and we got the error. Len is undefined. Okay, why and where we are getting the error? We are getting the error in quiz results. Okay, so I guess in the quiz results we have to use this way length, because this is view, might be that will work. Okay, that worked. In the view, len doesn't work. You have to use a pipe and then the length. Okay. Okay, so we got the flash message which completed, and your score 1 out of 2, and quiz name is polynomials 101. Your score is 1 out of 2. So basically all is working perfectly. Okay, that's it for this video. You have implemented quiz questions and scorings. User can attempt the quiz now. They can see their results. Their scores are getting recorded. In the next video, we will add charts and analytics to the admin dashboard. See you next time.